All right, welcome to the Wilkesboro podcast. And my name is Thomas Salley. I'm the tourism director for Wilkesboro, North Carolina. And we're going to be talking about the people and places and things that make Wilkesboro a fun and exciting place to be. And on today's episode, we actually have a visitor to Wilkesboro, a tourist to Wilkesboro. His name is Earl B. Hunter Jr., and he is the founder and president of Black Folks Camp 2. And before I introduce Earl, we had a chance to meet with each other at the Outdoor Economy Conference. It was in 2019. And then Earl came to visit, and we had a good day of mountain biking and disc golfing and doing all kinds of fun stuff. So, Earl, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you and great to see you on camera. How are you doing?
Woo. Man, I tell you one thing. This is pretty cool and pretty amazing. So I thank you so much for inviting me. Thomas, I got to tell you, man, you look good, man. You look fantastic, my friend. You look like the outdoors is giving you a lot of vitamin D, and you look like Wilkesboro is treating you really nice, which I think is a pretty cool town. When most folks don't know, I graduated from Appalachian State University, so I know Wilkesboro a little bit, just driving through there on my way home down to Columbia, South Carolina. So big ups to Wilkesboro.
Thank you, Earl. I appreciate that. And likewise, you're looking great yourself, and you've been through a lot here in the last few months, and it's good to see you up and running around and doing your thing.
Right on, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's get right to it, and we'll just tell me a little bit and tell the listeners and watchers about Black Folks Camp 2. And I want to let people know that Earl is very out and about. He's very outgoing, and there's a lot of content out there about Black Folks Camp 2. So I would encourage you all to go to Earl's website, go to Black Folks Camp 2 website, listen to what he has to say and some of these other podcasts and other blogs and things like that, and form so you can get some of the basics about the company and what Earl's trying to do there. And I would like to use this opportunity to let Earl talk a little bit more about Black Folks Camp 2 and what they have planned for the future and how he sees things going in the industry. So it's all yours, brother.
Right on. So Thomas, I always start off by telling folks, when I get out of my bed every morning, right, I think about Black Folks Camp 2, right? When I get into the mirror, I think about Black Folks Camp 2. And when I get in the mirror, I always want my day to go well. I want my day to be amazing, because I can't be amazing and be excited about life unless I'm excited about life. So I get into the mirror and get in there and I start singing, man. I go, when I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hits my eyes, there's something without wanting love. Bears heavy on my mind. Oh, but when I look at you, bum, bum, ba-da, and the world's all right with me. Yeah. Oh, just one look at you, bum, bum, ba-da, and I know it's gonna be, it's gonna be, Thomas? A lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. Listen, when I think about Black Folks Camp 2, our company, that's what I think about. Because our company is very simple. Our job is very simple. Our mission is very, very simple. We remove fear, we add knowledge, and we invite more Black folks to camp and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle with any and everyone. Through that, we create unity in the outdoors through our unity blades, which is the campfire in our logo, which means treat everyone everywhere equally. Listen, this is not rocket science, right? There's a lot of things in regards to Black folks in the outdoors that if you love the outdoors, if you've been in the outdoors, if you have been trailing, if you've been camping, if you've been kayaking, if you've been canoeing, if you've been mountain biking, you know that you have not seen that many or probably no Black folks. Well, you know that, right? Well, we know the reasons why. And we have been sharing the reasons why. And we think that when we share the reasons why, we know that most of the folks who are out there, the 90% of the folks that are out there who are enjoying the outdoors, they want to help increase diversity in the outdoors or increase underrepresented folks to enjoy the outdoors. Black Folks Camp 2, was not created just to get Black folks to go camping with Black folks. Although that's fine, right? If Black folks want to camp with Black folks, we don't care. But we were created to get Black folks to camp with any and everyone, right? We want Black folks to be excited about camping with any and everyone, no matter who you are and where you come from. We're a very strategic company. We're not a 501c3. We're not a nonprofit. We're a for-profit business, and our job is to simply remove fear, add knowledge, and invite Black folks to camp. Our job is to have this conversation with the 90% lifestylers out there who are basically white, right? And have this conversation with them and say, here are the reasons why Black folks you haven't seen Black folks in the outdoors if you hadn't seen that, right? So we remove fear, add knowledge to them, and also invite them to ask questions, and also to invite them to invite more Black folks or more people of color into the outdoors. But we also, people always ask me, well, how do you guys get paid? What do you do? Well, there's an entire industry out there, $840 billion industry, which is the outdoor industry, that we also have to help remove fear, add knowledge, and encourage them to invite Black folks to buy their products, to love on their products, and to use their products in the outdoors. But before Black folks or people of color are going to purchase their products, I think it may be advantageous for those companies to want to teach a group of folks who really don't know anything about the outdoors, about their projects. And while we're doing that, our company is very different from a lot of folks. We work for our dollars in regards to consulting or to create culturally relevant content and copy and share that with those companies. And when we're paid for what we do, we then create our digital education initiative, which is to encourage more Black folks, people of color, to go camping with any and everyone. That's who we are. That's what we do. And we're very proud of what we do, Thomas. Very proud.
You have a lot to be proud of, Earl. It's a remarkable journey that you've been on, and it's so exciting to have witnessed it from the start.
Yeah, you've been watching this thing, Thomas, like from the start, man. And by the way, Thomas, you're the first person to introduce to invite me to their city to partake into the outdoors. Man, you're the first one, and I got to tell you, it was pretty dope, man. You know, I'm an RVer. You know, I'm an RVer. It's cool. But in regards to mountain biking and trailing and all that kind of good stuff, you were the first one. And then there are 3 other guys from the conference who actually took me on my first backpacking trip. And guess what? I'm going again this weekend. We're doing 27 miles this weekend. So
wow, that's
awesome. Amazing.
That's fantastic, Earl. I love the intro and the story and sort of how you came to be with Black Folks Camp too. So I am curious, now that we know the background of the company, when did you, Earl, get first introduced to the outdoors? And I know I've heard a little bit of what you talk about from childhood and how, you know, you and we have to remove fear of the outdoors from the Black community. So how were you first introduced to the outdoors, and when did you become, let's say, an outdoorsman, if you will?
Right. So I tell folks all the time, you know, I've always been in business. I've been an executive for quite some time, and I was an executive in another type industry. My storyline is I was a Gucci, Louis Vuitton, sports car driving, sports coat wearing executive, flying around on private planes and, you know, closing deals, right? And I'd never been in the outdoor industry at all. My first introduction to the outdoor industry or the outdoor lifestyle, I think when the folks came around in 4-H or something and took me in the woods to help clean up the outdoors, you know. So that was my first introduction, but I never really camped or did anything like that. And I really didn't learn anything about the outdoors. My first camp out was me taking my son out when he was maybe 2 or 3 years old, camping in the backyard. And it probably was the worst experience ever because it was raining and damp. And I was like, I wasn't prepared, right? I just did it just to be doing it. But in regards to the industry, I got into the industry about 6 years ago when I became an executive at a company that made campers. We made pop-up campers. And my job was to take that company from $815,000 in sales, which we did in 4 years, to $17.5 million in sales. And during that, I spent a lot of time on the road. I spent a lot of time at conventions, conferences, and things of that nature. I drove and traveled over 300,000 miles around North America, from North Carolina to Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia to British Columbia, British Columbia to San Diego, San Diego to Miami, and all in between, really trying to sell our campers to RV dealers. So I've seen a lot. I've camped a lot RV wise. And the thing that really drove me to start Black Folks Camp 2 is two parts. Number one, that I was pretty much the only Black executive on the manufacturing side of the RV industry. One of the only Blacks, probably the only, right? And the RV industry is a $144 billion industry, right? Now, I didn't really like being the token guy, right? I didn't like walking into this industry, into the lifestyle and being the only one. It wasn't that I was scared being the only one. I flourished being sort of the only one. But I felt, if this industry is good for me and it's been good for others, why not get other Black folks into the industry and love on the industry? But further than that, why not get more Black folks into the lifestyle, right? Why not get more Black folks loving this amazing lifestyle, which is enjoying the outdoors, right? And so I believe when you enjoy the outdoors, it allows you to do things and feel things that you wouldn't normally feel when you're actually anywhere else. And so for me, I had to learn a few things though. And I had to share a few things. And I had to understand a few things, right? I understood why I didn't go in the outdoors. As a 43-year-old man at the time, I understood why I didn't go in the outdoors. I'm sorry, as a 44-year-old man at the time, I knew why I didn't go in the outdoors, right? I knew it. I knew because my great-grandmother told my grandmother, told my mother, told me, don't go in those woods. I knew that the woods represented one of the most heinous places in the world for them, right? Because of those generational fears and stories and the realness that they experienced, right? I knew that I had no knowledge. I knew that I knew nothing about tents. I knew that I didn't know anything about sleeping bags, RVs, and all that stuff, right? I knew I didn't know anything about taking a nature bath, right? I thought you had to jump in a waterfall and wipe off with the water to have a nature bath. And I used to say to people, why do folks want to jump into a dirty creek or lake and bathe? When I found out what nature bathing is, it was amazing. And for those of you who don't know what nature bathing is, just go stand in the outdoors, in the woods, into nature, and just stand there and listen, be quiet. And it will soothe your soul. The second thing is I knew that no one really invited me, right? No one really invited me to enjoy the outdoor lifestyle, right? Never really invited and made me feel welcome in the outdoor lifestyle, right? And so I knew the reason why I didn't like it and why I didn't do it. And that's one thing. Those are me, those are my opinions. But as a company, what I had to do and what we wanted to do is go get data. And we as a company spent a lot of money getting data on why Black folks haven't been in the outdoors. And so what we did, Thomas, we did the very same things that I think that the industry and the lifestyle folks should do. But before we did that, my son and I went on this amazing camping trip around the country. My 7-year-old son, said to me, Dad, you've been gone a lot. Looks like you've been on vacations. And I had to tell my son, I'm out here trying to make a living for you, for everybody. And he said, listen, you say you're going to take me to Mount Rushmore, and you haven't taken me yet. You need to talk that talk and walk that walk like you tell me, Dad. And I said, Dylan, I'm going to take you to Mount Rushmore. And by the way, I've driven past Mount Rushmore 3 times and never got a chance to see it because I didn't want to see it without you. So the summer of 2017, my son and I embarked on a 3-month trip around the country. I was working and also showing him how to work and what I do while we were visiting all these beautiful campgrounds. And during that trip, I only saw one Black family in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And when I had that conversation with the wife of that family, and we couldn't have been so far different. We were so different. They were riding in a huge motorhome. It was beautiful. And we were pulling a pop-up camper. And we were like, oh, wow. We were like the good times folks meet the Huxtables, right? And it was amazing. We had a conversation, and the young lady said to me, I started sharing to her who I was and what I did. And I think I've said to her, I was pretty much the only Black person in the industry, or executive in the industry. And she said, well, you probably want to change that, don't you? And so it took me about a year and a half, and I embarked on this journey. And then we launched Black Folks Camp 2 on the stage of the Outdoor Economy Conference, October 10th, 2019. All right.
I was there.
And that you were there. And I remember singing to you guys then, man. And it was beautiful. And our company, Thomas, has taken on some amazing legs, man. We've been running, but we haven't deviated from our plan. Is to remove fear, add knowledge, and invite more Black folks to camp and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle with any and everyone. And if you're listening or watching this, that means you too.
I never get tired of hearing you tell your narrative. So that's just a wonderful testimony that you have. And I am curious to know, now that you've been going at this for close to 2 years now, is there maybe something happened with somebody that you're out beating the drum, getting more Black folks to camp and get out in the outdoors, but is there something that Black Folks Camp 2 has done for someone, and maybe they've come and told you this that you totally didn't expect?
Yeah, so let me tell you something. So we partnered with the state of South Carolina, which is state of South Carolina. State of South Carolina well, Thomas, that's where you're from, right? And I'm from there too. I'm from Columbia, you're from Orangeburg, right? And so we partnered with the state of South Carolina. They were our first state that we partnered with because they wanted to invite more Black folks to their state parks. And we said to them, listen, good, because we believe that we can help you do that. So as a company, we set out to do that. And the very person that we wanted to actually to do this with, we didn't really know in mind at first. But when I started driving back home after our meeting, I said, you know what? Football season is canceled for the year in 2020. Well, the football season is canceled, and I want to take someone out who's never been camping before. And I want to take somebody, matter of fact, we went camping, but we did a little glamping though. We went RV style, right? Because we tell everybody, you got to camp your own camp. Camping doesn't necessarily always mean for you to go up on a mountain and pitch a tent. You can also get you an RV and go camping too, right? We promote that as well. And so we figured if we're going to promote South Carolina and we're going to promote one of the most likable, most positive, most exciting, an expert when it comes to football and winning, we may as well tab, and we were also looking for a Black person, we may as well tab the coolest, the dopest, the amazing person by the name of Oliver Buddy Pugh, who is the head football coach at South Carolina State University, which is a HBCU, an historically Black college and university, and a person who has never left South Carolina. He's a South Carolinian through and through. He coached me in high school. He took me home almost every day of my life. I had some amazing conversations with him. And he agreed to go on this tour with me, this camping tour. And we took him to 2 amazing state parks in South Carolina. But here's the kicker. This man is 67 years old. And he had never been camping a day in his life, never even thought about it, because of the very same reasons that we're going to shed. We removed fear from him. We added knowledge, and we invited him to go on this amazing trip. And no one had done that to him in the past. And he agreed to do that because we were able to do that for him. We took him on this trip. And one of the most amazing things he said to me was when he got out of the camper, after his first night, he got around the campfire. Actually, he was hanging out of the door of the RV, and I said, "Coach, how'd you sleep?" He said, "I might have had the best sleep of my life ever." And I said, "Wow." And that right there was probably one of the biggest, the most fortunate things that happened, because I got a chance to change somebody's life or help change someone's life through the beauty of the outdoors. Now, our job is to introduce. Our job is to remove fear. Our job is to add knowledge. But our job is not to hold people's hand and take them all in the outdoors all the time. Our job is to share the knowledge with them so they'll want to go on their own. And I believe this, and I know this based on what he said. He's gonna go. It's exciting to him. 5, 6 years from now, he may retire and say, "I'm ready to go, and I need to go do something." And now he has the outdoors as an option. And that's what we're doing, giving folks options, right? Particularly the option to spend time in public lands that we all pay for. 640 million acres of land, public land. We all pay for it with our tax dollars. So I was pretty proud of that, Tom. It's pretty cool, man.
That's wonderful work there. I love Coach Pugh. I unfortunately never had much of a chance to interact with him, but several of my classmates played football for him as well. And everybody, and of course in Orangeburg, he's just a legend and is highly regarded, and rightfully so. So let's talk about you came to Wilkesboro a little while ago, almost a year ago now. What did we do, and what did you most enjoy about Wilkesboro, and maybe what would you, when next time you come, which is going to be soon, what would you like to do the next time?
Well, first of all, you guys are close to App State. I love App State. I'm a Mountaineer. That's number one, right? And then the other thing is, I gotta tell you something. In my prior life, I was turned on to NASCAR, right? I used to actually, as an executive, I have photos where I was standing on the podium with Jimmy Johnson, handed him a check, right? And I was an anomaly then, right, at the NASCAR races. But I remember the Speedway, right? I just thought it was really cool. I used to see that sign. I thought it was really dope when I was driving back and forth from Columbia, because we took that way to go home, coming down that big hill, coming down off of I think is that 321 or that highway from Boone to Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
And
16.
I remember getting a large speeding ticket on that highway as well, because I had my car in neutral instead of in drive, and we were going. And I got a huge ticket back then when I was in college. But I got to tell you this too, though, Thomas. When I came to Wilkesboro, and I noticed something about Wilkesboro, is that the downtown, it was real quaint and real lovely. I saw the cool little greenway that you guys have in the courtyard area. It was beautiful. I also love that you were preserving some history in Wilkesboro. I believe it was one of the schools or so there in that area. I was really intrigued by such. The other thing I was intrigued by was in the downtown area, you guys have that huge mural on the wall. And I thought it was pretty dope, because the mural could have been anything else, but it was colorful. It was lively, right? And then I heard about the festivals you guys have. But more so than anything, I heard about the connection that Wilkesboro was making to make sure that everyone everywhere was welcome into Wilkesboro.
Right.
And I thought that was
awesome.
Important. I thought that was important, because that aligns with our mission and what we think in regards to our Unity Blades.
Yeah,
that's right. So, and lastly, man, you welcomed me. You welcomed me. We had an amazing lunch, and I thought it was fantastic, my friend.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it again, and I definitely want to come see you in Brevard or wherever I can, on the trail, wherever I can catch up with you.
Right on.
So let's from a destination standpoint, you and I have had some of these conversations in person, but what could destinations, what can we do, what can you do, what can I do, what can destinations do to bring more Black folks into their communities, maybe engage Black folks that are already in their community to be a part of that sort of process of welcoming visitors, including some of the wonderful stories and cultural offerings that they may have to bring into the narrative of a place. How do we engage more Black folks in the outdoors and in tourism?
Well, the first thing I tell you is to call us as a company. We'll help you do it. That's number one. We'll help you do it. But I'll give you a few tips. I think one of the greatest things, Thomas, is that cities and counties and areas are going to have to do is say to themselves, first of all, we want more Black folks and people of color in the area. You got to say that to yourself. And then when you say that, you have to say, you can't say we haven't been welcome. We hadn't said that we don't want. Yeah, but you really hadn't said that you want it either, based on your marketing style, right? And what we do is we create culturally relevant content, right? Whether that be copy and content, whether that be videos, whether that be photos and things of that nature. We're able to create that information, but we're able to also take that information and push that content and that copy into areas where you see more Black folks or people of color in that particular space. Because the bottom line is, when you have more Black folks, any folks or all folks that are coming to your area, economically, it makes sense for you, right? And if you don't want to make more money, if you don't want to have more diverse area or inclusion and things of that nature, quit saying it, Don't say you want to really work on your DEI, you really want to have a diverse area, a diverse town, diverse this. If you're not saying you do, you're saying you don't, right? And so in your actions, you have to be prepared to do those things, right? Again, with your culturally relevant content, you copy, but you got to be able to be sincere in that particular space of making sure that people feel comfortable, right? If I invited you to my home, Thomas, the first thing I'm gonna ask you, man, I'm gonna ask you what you like to eat. I'm gonna find out what kind of music you like, and then I'm gonna open my door, and I don't expect you to come just in my door. I expect you to knock. And when I let you in and allow you to come in and you see these spaces, you know that I've prepared for you, my friend, right? When in cities and towns, people don't really have to knock. I mean, Black folks don't need permission to go to Wilkesboro or to go to Boone or go to Brevard or go camping or go in the outdoors. We don't need permission, but it sure feels good to be welcome, right? It feels good for anybody to be welcome, Thomas, I welcome you to Brevard, man, with open arms. I welcome you to my hometown, my neighborhood, anywhere, right? And I want you to feel that way. Because when you feel that way, when you feel welcome, man, you tend to act accordingly. You tend to it's all right with me. When you don't feel welcome, you have a tense moments of feeling like maybe I'm not welcome, right? This is no special treatment. You have to treat anybody any kind of way. You just have to treat everybody equally, all right? Treat everybody like you would. You're not pandering when you market to Black folks. You're marketing to Black folks, just like you market to everybody else. You just got to know how to do it and the ways to do it, right? And so that would be my number one goal for cities and destinations. First you need to know you want to. Then you put together a plan to get it done, and then you do it. You got to do it first. You got to start before you can finish. Right?
Yeah, that's wonderful information, Earl. Thank you. And I love the analogy of preparation, where you're preparing to invite, and then you create the invitation, and then you stand behind the invitation in the way that you think and act and speak, and everything is laid out. And coming from a hospitality background, you're not at home, you're at your place of business, or even if your place of business is more of a concept, when you invite people in, that you treat it like that's your home, and you've spent this time preparing for this moment, and that you want to make people feel welcome. I just think that's so important.
Absolutely.
From my perspective, I think that, especially being a small destination, it's helpful for me to partner with people like you, because that allows us to collaborate, and collaboration to me is very key in creating a multiplier effect of providing more reach, and just the fact that we get to work together and we get to lean in on each other just makes the experience a lot more fun and valuable, I think, for both of us. So I would encourage other folks to find Earl, or find somebody in your community that has that reach and has the ability to connect you with the audience that you seek, and make them a part of the process, because that's so important to involve people in your story.
What Thomas, the key word is inclusion, not exclusion. Right? Not exclusion. I don't want exclusion from anything. I want to find better ways to include you. Listen, we spend 20% of our time as a company telling folks about the reasons why Black folks haven't been in the outdoors, and why Black folks haven't camped, mountain biked, done anything in regards to the lifestyle. And we spend 80% of our time working on ways to improve that, right? And I guess I need to say this as well, because we're going to get this. I would be naive, you would be naive, and all of your listeners and followers and everybody in the world would be naive if we thought as a company that all Black folks thought this way, that all Black folks are fearful of the outdoors, that all Black folks didn't have any knowledge, or that all Black folks were not felt like they weren't invited. We would be naive. Everybody would. And really would be and I hate to use this word, we would be absolutely ignorant or dumb if we said that. You know why? Or if we thought that? Because our logo, our company name says Black Folks Camp Too. For you folks that are in the back, too means also and as well. So we already know Black folks camp. We know they do camp, they will camp, and they already camp and have camp. Our job is to get more Black folks to camp and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle with any and everyone. So don't go emailing me and telling me that we are this company with this company. If you don't agree with us getting more Black folks in the outdoors and enjoying the outdoor lifestyle, and I think that's the problem you have to deal with, because that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's right. You're headed out there. We can come with you, or we can stay at home.
You stay at home. Whatever you want to do, it don't matter. We're coming. We're going to enjoy it. But the thing about it is, you should want to. Everybody should want to get around the campfire and have conversations. When you get around campfires and have conversations, you start finding out that you got the same problems as everybody else, or maybe your problems may be a little similar, or man, okay, well that's cool. So I didn't know that. Yeah, now you know. But if you're around the campfire with everybody that looks the same, you're going to talk about the same things over and over and over again. Again, Black folks don't need permission to create campfires and to go on trails and to love on the outdoors. We don't need permission to do that. We can go do that if we want to. But we also know there's some reasons why we don't go, right? Mm-hmm. And our job is to remove those reasons, those fears, so we can get all us around the campfire and start having some amazing conversations.
So you referenced the campfire, and I love the unity blaze concept. Could you talk about that briefly?
Absolutely, I love it. So if you guys can see my hat, there's a campfire in the middle of our logo, in the middle, and that campfire represents just everything for us, right? Around our campfire, we don't care about your race, about your gender, or your age. We believe everyone has something to say. Well, we also believe the campfire and we know the campfire is the oldest form of light, heat, gathering, and ways to, of course, cook your food, right? Campfire's been around forever, for a long time. We know the campfires are sustainable. We know they're meaningful. We know they're measurable, and we know they're sincere. Well, if our company is built around the campfire, we have to make sure we get everybody around the campfire. And so the campfire in our logo is the unity blaze. And the unity blaze means treat everyone, everywhere, equally. When you wear this unity blaze or put this patch or sticker anywhere in your presence where people can see it, it tells folks that you treat everyone everywhere equally. And it invites folks, people who may not feel like they've been invited into the outdoors. It tells them you are invited, right? You are welcome. Come on, let me show you this beautiful place. Let me show you what it feels like to stand there and be quiet and listen to the birds chirping. Let me just take you on this small little trail and teach you and show you that these colorful blazes on these trees tell you that you're on the right trail. Let me show you that this right here is a trailhead. And trailhead means this is where the trail starts. Or let me show you, or maybe you show me where these waterfalls are, right? We start having conversation and we start talking about things that are amazing. We do it in the outdoors, right? We have these conversations and it becomes amazing. Black folks, white folks, green folks, all folks. We're out there loving on the outdoors. Most folks say, well, why do I need a symbol? Why do I need a symbol to tell people that I treat everyone everywhere equally? Well, why do you need a symbol to tell everybody what kind of band you like when you had that bumper sticker on your car, right? Why do you need stickers to talk about your political party, right? Because you want people to know. Well, you should want people to know that you treat everyone everywhere equally. Why not? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Why not? Right? And so if you don't want to treat everyone everywhere equally, that's fine. If you don't even want to put the unity blaze on or wear it or put it on your bottle, okay. Okay, that's fine. We just letting you know that we're going to remove some fear from you. We adding a little knowledge about the unity blaze, and we're inviting you to wear it, to show it, if you like. Sit. And you can find the Unity Blaze at blackfolkscamp2.com. The moment you click our website, you'll read about the Unity Blaze.
All right. I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I could tell you that, we're on Zoom today because we're physically separated by location, but I cannot wait to get out into the woods and sit in front of the Unity Blaze with you and our friends and talk about some of these things that what really matters to us. And I'm curious to know, Earl, what when you have taken folks into the outdoors and first, what was your aha moment in the outdoors? Maybe what was that what happened when everything clicked with you and you kind of understood what it was that you were doing or what you got out of being in the outdoors? And then how does that compare to when you invite people and take people out into the woods and maybe you're going hiking, you're going camping? What do they experience that's their aha moment that you've heard?
Oh, this is my aha moment right here. This is beautiful. So at that conference that I met you, which is the Outdoor Economy Conference, I had an opportunity to go to the, there was two guys that came up to me, right? And they were Western Carolina professors. They invited me. They did exactly what I said that we should do. Because obviously at that time, I didn't really know any Black folks who camped, who backpacked. So they invited my first backpacking trip. The first thing they did was invite me, okay? And then they started removing fear from me by giving me all the information that I need, right? Telling me about the maps, telling me where I'm going, telling me what I should look for, what I should wear. Then they started getting me knowledge about, they started getting me knowledge of where we should meet, things of that nature, what we're gonna see when we're out there, things of that nature. But what they didn't tell me was, they didn't tell me I was gonna go 15 miles on my first backpacking trip. And the 15 miles was an incline that looks like that. And I was scrambling. By the way, I learned what scrambling was on that trip. I sat on the ball and I looked clear across and I saw a view better than that background you have, Thomas. And I ate an amazing lunch, right? I walked so much that the bottom of my shoes, my boots came apart. because I wasn't prepared with the right boots, right? So I thought I could just wear my boots that I wear, my boots to go backpacking. Well, I learned that you have to have the right equipment if you want to do that type of trade run, right? So we tied up the shoes with string. I learned that you probably want to have some string on you at all times, right? And then we marched on 3 more, 5 more miles. We put duct tape on my shoes. I learned that you want to probably have some duct tape with you, right? Also learned how to make sure that my tent was set up properly, how it was turned, making sure it was high enough away from the water that we were camping near, making sure that my food was away from me because of the bears. All these things, Thomas, I learned on this trip. But what I learned the most, and this is the most beautiful thing, is that when I got around that campfire, I learned that 2 of the gentlemen, which were white gentlemen, didn't know why black folks or why they hadn't seen black folks in the outdoors. And I got a chance to tell them this and talk these things about them around the campfire. And it was amazing. And guess what, Thomas? I'm going out with those same guys tomorrow. We're going to do 27 miles. And we're going to continue to educate one another some more. They're going to educate me about the outdoors. And I'm going to educate them about how to get more black folks in the outdoors. And then I'm going to take my education that I learned from them, and I'm going to educate more black folks about the outdoors. I'm going to educate more white folks, green folks, yellow folks, all folks on why they may hadn't seen black folks in the outdoors. And we're just going to continue changing the world. That's all. That's all we're going to do. And that right there, probably, that was amazing. And then, once we learned to do that, once I learned that and excited about that, we started taking other folks out. I watched 18-year-olds to 45 or 50-year-olds, attorneys, people that don't have no job, folks that have amazing jobs, folks that have children, folks that have no children, folks that love life, folks that don't really care about life right now. I watched these folks do some things that they never thought they could do. I watched them climb mountains and it felt like they're life mountains. I watched them nature bathe. I watched them jump into waterfalls. I watched them have an amazing time in the outdoors, the very place that many of them were scared to go into. Many of them had no knowledge that these places even existed. Many of them had never been invited. I watched them cry, man. I watched them sing. I watched them, when it got dark, look around, watch them get around the campfire, get warm. I watched them fall asleep, go in the tent. And more importantly, I watched their lives change, where they can go tell their friends, I went camping, backpacking, and it was pretty fun. Did everybody enjoy it? No. Out of the hundreds of people we took, not everybody enjoyed it, but 90% of them did. Right? It was beautiful.
There's so much to unpack about just the metaphors that come with having the right equipment, pitching the tent correctly, climbing mountains. I mean, that we could really go all day with that.
And that's what we're creating. That's what we do, man. That's what we're going to be creating. We want that to be digitally done properly, where we don't have to take out hundreds and thousands and millions of people. We want to be able to do that digitally in our way, though, right? In our way, where we walking down the trail, he's on down the road, all that. We want to do it in our way, man, the way we like to do things. When I say the way we like to do things, I mean as a company. We want people to feel happy in the outdoors, but we also want to share with them the dangers. Look, there are animals out here. And there's some people out here too. So I had to have a little fear. because we all do. I got a little bit thinking in my mind now, man. I'm going out in mid-March, and this hibernation time is about over. You know?
Yeah.
But for me, that's the adventure of it all. You got to go through something to get to something, Thomas.
That's right. That's fantastic. Earl, I can't believe it, man, but we've been talking for almost an hour. So as we wind this thing down, how can people find you, and how can they, before we go, I've got a little something here.
Thomas, you look good.
Thank you.
You look good, baby.
So how can folks find the Black Folks Camp 2 gear? Where can they find the Unity Blaze sticker, the patch? How can they get in touch with you?
Look at that Black Folks Camp 2 hat, look good on you, man. That's one of our popular hats right there, by the way. You can find us, everybody can find us on blackfolkscamp2.com. Blackfolkscamp2.com. If you want to go to our social media site, we have a couple of Facebooks. We have one, Black Folks Camp 2. One of them is a group. If you click that one, you have to join it. We will let anybody in and allow you to come in. There's another one that is our likable page. It's probably the best one because we do a lot of podcasts and a lot of live streams that we're going to have in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited about this because we're going to have some park rangers on there talking and chatting. We also, if you go to our website, ladies and gentlemen and other, you're going to be able to find the amazing Unity Blaze patch and the Unity Blaze sticker. And it means treat everyone, everywhere equally. Put them on your cars, put them on your backpacks, your puffies, on your RVs, everything. When you're riding around, people know, they know that you do that, right? They know it. And I'm so excited. And Thomas, I want to thank you, my friend. I want to thank you for having me on your podcast. I believe this is your first one.
Yeah, that's right.
And if it's your first one, baby, let's get it. I love it.
Well, this has been a real pleasure for me too, Earl, and I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you over the past year and a half, and we've maintained regular communication, and I love that we check in on a regular basis, and that's
yes, we
really
do,
important.
Man.
That's really special to me, and just that we help each other, and that those lessons that we take into the woods come out of the woods and come out of these experiences that we take hiking and camping, and we apply those back to our personal and professional lives. So
I tell folks, man, I live this life, man. I don't sugarcoat none of this. And we're gonna have an amazing time out in the outdoors. Everybody is. And we're gonna look back on this, and our children are going to grow up in the outdoors, loving on one another. And then you know what? Once we get people loving on one another and loving the outdoors, people want to take care of it. And the more they want to take care of it, the more we're going to love on it and use it for our sanctuary for peace. Exactly.
Parting words of wisdom from Earl B. Hunter Jr. Earl, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck with the rest of your week. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Enjoy that hike, and tell your friends hello from Wilkesboro.
Right on, man. Wilkesboro, North Carolina, baby.
and we need to start working on that return trip. I got a lot more for you to do next time.
I'm ready, man.
Let's do it.